Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. Let's start this video off with a very impressive update of Derek Lunsford. And it's a shame we won't get to see him compete in the Arnold Classic next week, but I'm pretty sure Derek will be around taking pictures, doing interviews. But in this specific update, the legs of Derek Lunsford look absolutely massive, which is very interesting. I say that because if we go back to the Mr. Olympia, I'm pretty sure we all can agree Derek's legs appeared to need more size, or they were very flat. As Big Steve said, Derek needs more front thighs. And why did I say Derek's legs could have been flat? Nick Walker was training with Derek pretty much leading into the Mr. Olympia up until 2 weeks out where he moved to Vegas. And he said Derek's legs were massive and maybe they overdieted a little bit. But also take into account that Derek's legs could look bigger because this was after a leg day or taking at a very good angle. But either way, he looks pretty impressive in these updates. Now let's switch over into Nick Walker, who is 1 week out from the Arnold Classic. Nick Walker is looking very grainy. And something I noticed in a comment section the other day, not sure if it was my channel or another channel, someone said Nick probably brought his worst conditioning to the 2022 Mr. Olympia. And when I think about it, probably so. I think Nick was more conditioned at the New York Pro, the 2021 Arnold, and last year's Olympia. But this year, Nick isn't leaving anything to chance. He's coming in absolutely peeled, grainy, hard. And before the Nick Walker fans leave hate comments, when I say Nick brought his worst condition package to the Mr. Olympia, he probably brought 97% conditioning when he usually brings 99, and we can attribute that to those guys having to sit backstage for so long. Basically what I'm saying is Nick was holding a little bit of water at the Mr. Olympia, but at this Arnold Classic, I think we are going to see a better version of Nick. And in the next update of the day, we have some recent updates from Samson Dauda, also ahead of the Arnold Classic. And I believe Samson is going to bring his best package to date to this Arnold Classic. If you guys haven't heard, Milo Sarchev, who is his coach, said that Samson wasn't using a specific compound, and going into this Arnold Classic, I believe he is going to use that compound. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, this specific compound can make a huge difference in a physique. But it's very impressive how much Samson is still able to improve from show to show. If we go back to 2021, Samson placed third at the KO Squad Egypt Pro. He was beat out by Moshe Bun and Regan Grimes. At that time, Regan Grimes was the 15th best bodybuilder on the planet. Samson was competing with a 15th place guy. In a year, Samson is competing in the top 6 at the Mr. Olympia. Absolutely unbelievable. And in the next update of the day, we have a recent update from Akim Williams, who is looking very good ahead of this Arnold Classic. And just seeing Akim post more updates lets me know he's probably very confident in his look. Akim is a guy that never really posts updates. But going into this Arnold Classic, if he brings a package like he usually brings, I don't think he can find himself within that top 5. However, based off how Akim is looking right now, if he still improves and gets a little bit more condition, it's a possibility. This guy's massive. Now switching over to Patrick Moore, another guy competing in the Arnold Classic. Hopefully Patrick doesn't have this detail when he's in the gym only, and we also get to see this on stage. But I'm looking forward to seeing this guy compete. The more updates I see of him, the more confident I am in Patrick. The biggest thing I was worried about is him peaking properly, him coming in condition, and I believe he's being helped by Brian Troy, who used to work with Hunter Labrada. Speaking of Hunter Labrada, actually, he posted up an update. This is a small one, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Hunter this season. Hunter is eating more of his meals, less shakes, which I think should help his midsection at least a little bit. And Hunter is also doing 2 shows this year to work on his peaking process. And Hunter has placed as high as 4th at the Mr. Olympia, which is a huge accomplishment in itself. A lot of guys never make it that far. Lee Priest, Milo Sarchev, great bodybuilders, never made it to the top 4. But Hunter did this while drinking most of his meals. So with him eating more of his meals, I think he'll look even better. Now switching over to Justin Shier. And if you guys don't know who Justin is, he actually turned pro at the 2021 NPC Nationals along with Carlo Thomas Jr. He's also a high-style athlete and somewhat frequent on Fuad Abiat's podcast, and is also coached by Matt Jansen. If I'm not mistaken, he should be making his pro debut at the New York Pro. Actually, Carlos Thomas Jr. should be too. Really looking forward to seeing this guy compete. Now switching over to 212, we have a recent update from the prodigy Keone Pearson. Keone is looking absolutely massive. And it's very interesting because if you guys watched my last update of Keone, I spun the possibility of this guy going to open. Then he posted an update looking massive. And actually, someone asked him on his story, would you ever go to open? And Keone said he plans on doing that at some point. But don't jump to conclusions just yet, guys. Based off me seeing that update, I would say Keone may do 1 or 2 open shows in the future. I don't think he'll make a full switch, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, switching over to Classic Physique, this is a recent update from Terrence Ruffin, courtesy of Bodybuilders Without Borders on Instagram. And is it just me, or does it look like Terrence lost a little bit of size in the arms? And also, when I looked at this update, he almost looked like a Classic 212 guy. But Terrence has said before that he will compete in Classic for the rest of his career. And I believe Terrence also said he doesn't plan to compete for more than 3 to 5 more years. But Terrence is looking pretty good here, and I'm pretty sure he'll make a pretty good comeback. Now, switching over to Breon Ansley, we have a recent update from him. Full-time 212 bodybuilder. Breon is looking massive. His head looks very, very small in this update. And I've mentioned this to you guys before, but Breon actually wants a special invite to compete in the 212 Olympia this year. And personally, I only see one issue with this. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't give it to him because they gave Derek Lunsford a special invite. Derek is only a 1-time Olympia champion. Breon is a 2-time. But Derek asked for an invite closer to the end of the season. At that point in the season, there were still about 4 or 5 shows Derek could have done to qualify, but he was definitely cutting it close. Whereas with Breon, he's asking for a special invite in the beginning of the year. We've only had 1 212 show this year so far, so Breon has multiple opportunities to qualify. But with me being a huge fan of Breon Ansley, I'm going to be 100% biased and say give him the special invite as soon as possible. And switching over to Ramon Dino, we have some recent updates from him ahead of the Arnold Classic. Ramon is looking very impressive in these updates. Take a look at the arms on this guy. The separation in the tricep, the biceps, the forearms of Ramon Dino. Looking forward to seeing this guy on stage at the Arnold Classic as he looks to become the next Arnold Classic champion in the Classic Physique division. Another guy similar to Samson Dauda, Ramon has just been constantly improving from show to show. Now, switching over to Cambronero, this guy will also be competing in the Arnold Classic Physique division. I've seen little to no one talk about this guy. Maybe Fozzy Fitness talks about him a little bit. But for 1 week out, I would expect Alex to be in better condition. But this guy is a veteran. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Terrence Ruffin is also another guy that looks a little bit off at a week or 2 out, but usually brings it in. Looking forward to seeing what Alex is going to bring to the stage. This guy's about 39, maybe 40. Now, let's wrap this video up here with the archive of the day. You guys let me know in the comment section below, who are these legendary bodybuilders? As always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Keone from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.